Well, of all the things I could have opened up this stream with, one of the last things I would have expected to open things up with is commentary on United Kingdom. Because something I learned recently is proving to be quite hilarious. If you don't know what I'm talking about, apparently one of the main front runners for the 2029 general election is to potentially become prime minister if their party gets enough of a majority. It's facing a lot of issues, down to the point where he could have a legitimate chance to lose his spot in a specific kind of election to Count Ben Face, a joke candidate whose head is literally a trash can, made to be satire. And this is on top of a revolving door of prime ministers that can't stay out of trouble for long enough to serve out the rest of their term or the rest of the party majority's term. That's just hilarious. Imagine the imagine the possibilities that could happen if Count Finface was actually able to win a seat in the parliament. I just really wanted to happen just because of all the hilarious memes and stuff that would come out of it. Wouldn't that be funny? It would be absolutely funny. And if you know this channel, it's not often that I talk about any sort of politics, but sometimes you just have to acknowledge that there's something funny about some of the circumstances. Sometimes you just have to acknowledge it. Do it, guys. Do it for the memes. Just just do it for the memes. That's all I'm wanting out of this. Just do it for the memes. But we're actually going back. This is basically the week where Major League Soccer will officially go full swing back in after a couple of games were played last week. But as far as today is concerned, most of the teams are scheduled to play today. And we have one of the best teams in the league officially starting back against. Look, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's look, everybody, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have a non-losing record right now. Ha 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 ha. Which I was joking. That is a very the way that Cincinnati is. That record for Cincinnati is very much like the Pittsburgh Steelers. You can tell how much laughter there would be. The hair out of my mouth. I don't know how it keeps ending up there. I should have it at a reasonable volume and reasonable distance this time. Hopefully. But I had I had to make the joke about the Steelers. I wonder if Cincy will be the team that, well, they play 15 games out of 17, so they need to what? Win one of the next two in order to achieve each top peak Steeler football. If my math is right, I just it's just funny how a team in a different sport in a city where one of the main rivals in one in the biggest league of the United States is in the same division is playing like they were or that division rival. It's just hilarious. Sometimes you just find the most hilarious things in places you wouldn't expect. But yeah, anyway, let's actually get into our starting lineups. Since he's running a 3-4-3 formation with Celentano in at net, I think I got it a little too far away. Hopefully that there works better. And for the Whitecaps, after running a 4-2-3-1 formation with Takauka in at net, Vancouver, last time we saw Vancouver, they completely put belt to ass against Minnesota. And that's not even an exaggeration. They were just dominating so badly before halftime um, that it wasn't even in a contest. And of course, it wouldn't be a stream without issues coming from the MLS website on here. We always love those. I am wearing my Charlotte FC shirt this time because they also start back play, albeit they start back a little bit later. But yeah, I should be able to hear more clearly now that I got it just a tad bit closer. I'm honestly glad. It honestly feels nice to be able to actually tune in to something like this again. And right now, the win probability is, to no surprise, if you've seen how Vancouver has played, before the break, they're vastly favored at 49% chance to win. The Cincy's best chance against them is a 27% win outright. The main question is gonna be, well, pretty simple. Or will the Whitecaps continue right where they left off before the break? They are the best team in the West right now. And I do mean the best team in the West. Fittingly, I have a fitting in color goal lamp for whenever they score. This time I do have a. This time, once I see it's out, I'll change the batteries. If I can do it within the stream. That is. It, I the way I've been doing the MLS stuff is I usually been picking the games that have generally been within the same time frame as when I normally do the ECHL ones. Because while the game does go by pretty fast, but I also want to have enough time left over to basically sign off like normal and also take care of some other stuff like brushing my teeth before I go to bed. Which I might have, which considering the NFL season is starting to getting ready to start back up on a Wednesday September game, the first Wednesday after Labor Day, no less. I might have to consider brushing my teeth a little bit early because the NFL by far takes the longest amount of time to get from start to end. Because when it comes to their night games usually start around the 8:15 to 8:30 range, depending on the depending on the day and they're feeling a little generous, maybe about maybe about the 7 to 7:30 range, or the 7:30 to 8 range, depending on if the league is feeling like being generous or if they're in a good mood. But for the most part, it's within that 8:50 to 8:30 range. Which, if the game, which by the time the game comes to an end, okay, 50.6% in favor of the Whitecaps is what they're looking at. But when you have an NFL game that starts between 8:15 and 8:30, that means you have the game can go well into 11:30, and if it goes into overtime, it could go as late as midnight, especially if the game has a bunch of time stoppage and a lot of high action. And the reason why I don't cover playoff games is because those can last even longer than your average regular season NFL game as longest. The longest a regular season NFL game can go at this point in time is one overtime period of 10 minutes. Once and when that 10 minutes is up, if it's still tied at the end, it ends in a tie. No means ifs or buts. But with playoffs, it's it's endless overtime, which means endless overtime when it's tied. I mean, because with playoff overtime, it starts with one 15-minute overtime. If it's still tied after that 15 minutes, it goes into double overtime, which is the furthest any NFL game has gotten. Which which means which means the average NFL game usually ends before that usually comes to an end before that first overtime period does. The o- the only notable instances I remember seeing it happen to is in the 70s when the Chiefs were getting ready to move into Arrowhead in a double overtime game, which remains the longest in NFL history, where it was against between them and the Dolphins. The 2003 Panthers versus Rams game, where the Panthers got that walk-off touchdown in double overtime, and 2012 Ravens versus Broncos, where Joe Flacco, in the fourth quarter, threw that dart into the hands of Jacoby Jones, with miscues on defense, is by the Broncos. Where that in that game went a double overtime, and the Ravens proceeded to win that year's Super Bowl. Those are the three times I recall it ever happening, being from my research. Has there been more? Honestly, I kind of doubt it because it rarely ever goes that far. And we already got ourselves a yellow card this early into the game. Yeah, it's already started. We already got a yellow card to Tristan Blackman. And that was a that was a bad time to pull that kind of move. Because now you're on thin ice for the entirety of the game, pretty much. It's only been 2 minutes. It's only been 2 minutes, guys. He did get to catch that Cincy player did get a chance to catch their breath and is able to walk on their own power. But yeah, from what yeah, I did pronounce it right. Kauka. It's Kauka versus Celentano. Or well they were saying it's Tallno. You gotta remember, we butcher a bunch of pronunciations here and regardless of the intention. To me it's Celentano. If I was saying Celentano, well I kinda butcher it again anyway. We had some collision again. More collision. Both went. That was. He was. That was a Whitecap player trying to get to the ball, and Valenzuela. They're saying it was Valenzuela that was there, and there's the attempt. That's going off to the right. So now, so the Whitecaps are already on the verge of it first. And more collision, and but I don't think it was too much serious. Yeah, another unintentional. And it was also, and there was also one apparently missed. So, so the shot advantage currently goes to the Whitecaps. Well, to Vancouver and Cincinnati is looking to try to maintain a non-losing record. So, so if you're wondering how the maths, 5 wins is a total of 15 points, and they drew 5 times. So that's where the extra 5 come from. There's, I want willing to bet that there's probably a good chunk of people who are more used to the hockey math or the NHL hockey math and are like, wait, why is it not? Hey, this doesn't look right. Right, this should be like 15. Like, no, that's not how the math is calculated here. Remember, in soccer, a win is 3 points and a tie is 1 point. Oh yeah, I need to fix this. And, well, we just got ourselves a goal, everybody. We got ourselves a goal, and it's scored by the home with Cincinnati. Cincinnati is first on the board. Or Pavel Bucha able to get it through. There we go. Pavel Bucha gets it through for the first goal of the game. And Cincy is taking this one early in the 9th minute. Yeah, I said 9th minute. That's how early into the game we are. You can tell Cincy's happy to be scoring goals again. So now Vancouver is trailing. And it's not like this is some team who's gone unbeaten. And remember, they have lost 2 of their games before the break. They just so happen to have been in one of the best teams. And it's crazy to think. I'm wondering if these hot summers are also a big part and why they're moving to the more standard European format. It would make sense. Definitely would make sense. Oh yeah, Lewandowski is finally making his debut in Chicago. Well, he's actually not in Chicago. He's in Miami. But we do have ourselves a goal amidst all this lagginess here. It's actually Vancouver tying things up. I swear this iPad is gonna give me an aneurysm with the way it keeps freezing. Would it be a stream without out there being some sort of issue with something? But it's Javon Badwall who ties it up. Let me see if I can actually get this damn feed. to show up properly because there have been all kinds of ongoing issues. Okay, I got it back to live, but Batwall manages to score the equalizer. We are only 13 minutes into this game, and we've already had 2 goals. That alone should tell you the pace that was set. You can tell these two teams surely missed this being able to play games. They're probably not going to miss this heat that is going on. I can only imagine just the amount of opportunities they're giving each other. Wonder what kind of defense is going on between Celentano and Kauka. Oh yeah, Takauka. My bad. I forgot the tuh. Wonder what kind of matchup up is going on between Celentano and Takauka. They cut over to the coach of Vancouver, getting himself a sip. And that attempt is going to be saved. More like blocked. They say attempt saved, but it's really blocked. I wonder what's going. By the way, with the whole Vancouver saga, wonder what's going to happen to them after this season. And we apparently. Okay, no, it was actually a miss. A miss at the left, huh? They're weird with some of this sometimes. And we got a yellow card coming out for Matthias Laporta. That's the second Vancouver player that's on thin ice. They're trying to show a replay of where the challenge was. I don't get. I didn't see what the yellow card was for. Maybe he said they were saying he had a little bit of a shove. I don't. Yeah, I one I don't get. Maybe there's other stuff they can give yellow cards out for. Oh yeah, since the World Cup's over, congrats to Spain on winning the whole thing, and congrats to Miku who, after a long journey, ends as Spaniard Miku before she goes back to Japan. Probably good idea to bring that up when I still can. It's been what 3 days since it happened now. Better to do it when it was still fresh instead of waiting until an entire month has passed before saying anything. Don't worry, don't get invited by whoever's in charge of Spain for a celebration with their replica trophy. Yeah, that original trophy, that trophy they showed in the pictures and stuff actually has to go back to the country it came from. Well, more like the country they house it at. It goes back to the country they house it at in a specific area on wherever it is that maybe a good chunk of us know about, maybe a good chunk of us don't know about. Wherever it is, I believe it's somewhere in Switzerland. It has to go back to, and the team that wins is given a replica trophy to keep. There's a good reason for it. Just don't tell the celebrity in chief that. Don't worry, everybody. We'll be back to this same old song and dance in 4 years when it becomes an even bigger disaster. It seems like it seems like each edition of the World Cup it gets more disastrous. Well, that's standard FIFA for you. You thought Qatar was bad? You thought this was bad? Certainly gonna be worse next time. When you have 6 different countries hosting the damn thing across multiple continents. Jeez, I got to talking about all that, and I still haven't talked much about the game. Well, it actually has cooled off a little bit, if you can believe it. We had a lightning start, and now we're slowing things down. Can't can't make it too high octane. We just started back, everybody. We gotta make sure we be a little gradual with it. We went too fast. We gotta slow things down. It's probably what some of these people were saying. Don't worry, this kind of momentum stuff happens in hockey a lot. You get used to it. You, you also get your variety of games that end up being so boring, you end up wondering if it's ever going to end. Tends to happen sometimes. Oh yeah, the Hungarian Grand Prix. Who wants to turn into Formula One? I sure don't. I got other priorities. I want to watch some Canadian football. Except when it comes to Canadian football, they do not apologize after the hits they take. Oh, and from what I learned, this is the last year of their TV rights deal with a couple of networks. Most notable for the US being CBS Sports. The cable channel where you have to be lucky to get it. Don't worry, they got games on CFL Plus, I'm fine. I don't even have access to CBS Sports. I only just started watching Canadian football again just this year. After watching two different well, forget about that. Here comes Vancouver, lining up for an opportunity. And here's the shot. It's straight into the net. No, seriously, it went straight into the net, everybody. It went straight in. Straight in, everyone. Vancouver has a lead. Didn't think I'd be making that kind of noise. What was I just saying about them slowing it down? And Ryan Gold gets the lead for Vancouver. Eh, and there was also a bit of a miscue from Celentano. Apparently, Dan Morgan, not Dan Morgan. It's apparently Liv Morgan can't escape Danhausen, known for his particular cursing of stuff. We had an equalizer earlier, and now we have Vancouver with the lead. You can tell we're back to the high octane stuff, somewhat, after only 26 minutes. And looks like the feed decided to be the feed. They're still trying to get over that goal. They haven't been updating anything in a while. That fast. They can't handle the updates. They definitely can't. And is that gonna count? It's counting. They're gonna count it for the time being, as this is a equalizer for Cincy. Man, that was like a World Series in itself. That was Kevin Dinky gets an equalizer of his own. They're gonna show the replay here. Ball kick. It's set, but yeah, that's counting as a goal. Yeah, it went goalie Takalka tried to stop it. Oh no, it bounced off the knee of Johnson. It, oh, that's how it went in. It bounced off the knee of a Whitecap player. It's officially gonna be credited to Tate Johnson of the Whitecaps for an own goal. Oh my goodness. Think he was the last one to touch it for Cincy, so he gets the credit while it's officially an own goal. Man, man, that is quite hilarious to see. Once got to see the angle that nailed in the shot. Think he is the one that got it, since he was the last Vancouver player to touch it. I mean, the last NC player to touch it. But Tate Johnson off of his knee for it to count as an own goal. Wow, that is one. That is just, I like me a good old hilarious self scoring nonsense. Good old fashioned own goal. I just can't get over those things. 2-2, and it's not even halftime yet. We're not even close to it. It's only about maybe closing in on 32 minutes. So when Cincy got their first goal, it was immediately equalized. Then when Vancouver took the lead, it was immediately equalized through hilarious fashion. It's just been crazy. Oh boy, this is quite the video here. The world's biggest guitar string company just get caught. Short version. Accusations of Gen AI music used for demo. Kind of obvious miming in the performance. Comments were turned off after multiple people, including KMAT 2021, the meme legend himself, called them out on it. Huh. And we have a player down for Cincy. I'm definitely gonna need some drink some glasses of water after this. Oof. Looks like things all good. There's some thumbs ups. Looks like maybe everything's all good. Shot not even gonna get a chance to get lined up as Vancouver is looking for a chance to take the lead again. We already got a crazy. Then think we get this crazy of a game in a matchup like this. Maybe since he really is the Steelers of the MLS. I don't know. That's what I've been saying of it. But Cincy here again. So now making an advance. Got some men to beat it through the net. We have another goal scored by Cincy. As they now take the lead again. No own goal for Orny funny stuff this time. It's just Evander Da Silva Ferreira. Try saying that name in full. Getting a goal in this game to make it the third for Cincy. And we still aren't at halftime yet, folks. This could be gearing up to be one of the more drunk games we cover here. I need to check to see. I think the 3 to. No, that was not the highest scoring game of the season at this point. I believe there's a 4-4 draw. Yeah, here's a 4-4 draw right here. This, I believe this one. I believe that 4-4 draw right here is the most amount of points scored. in a single season, in a single game, ain't we've covered this season so far. This is on pace to potentially outdo it. I'm not even joking. We could see even more high scoring in the second half if they keep this up. When people say soccer is boring, point to games like this. Or point to like that third place game between England and France. That game was like drunk on all fronts. Like England was like up 4-0 at one point, and France was closing in very quickly. Come start the second half. Uh, in the second half, clawing their way back before England finally decided, all right, let's stop choking for once. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That one. I was confused about that one myself. Yeah, I was confused about that second yellow myself. That was called a labort. Yeah, I was confused about that one myself. I was like, I didn't see I didn't see any sort of contact with that. I've been trying to listen in, and I was that was one I was very confused on, and like he wasn't like if they were calling it when the shot was made. Hey, Laporta wasn't anywhere. I don't think it didn't look like Laporta was even that close to making contact. But but the buzz for Cincinnati thing really only just adds more fuel to the ammo to speculation that Cincy is the Pittsburgh Steelers of the MLS as right now this season. You don't go and by the way, here comes your yellow card for Pavel Bucho. What was well there goes that none for Cincinnati that you brought up. Bucho just got one. Talk about the timing of that. Talk about timing. Sometimes you just can't make this stuff up. I respond to a comment if they just call that. And that went to the left behind the net. I don't know. I'm guessing you unintentionally sent it twice. I'm guessing you unintentionally sent it twice. I guess I guess you can consider that yellow the makeup call for that second yellow. You just can't make some of this stuff up sometimes. That it's gonna go straight into the hands of the Kauka, as there's a Vancouver player down. It looks like. We're just waiting to see if he gets up. Up, look. Yeah, he is able to get up. And we still have stoppage time to go as Vancouver is going to make their first substitution of the game. And Caicedo is off for Sabely. Again, there's all kinds of butchering that goes on here. As we enter the final minute before stoppage time, you want fireworks? Well, you got your fireworks in this first half. You can't make some of this up sometimes. And I probably need to refresh. I probably need to refresh the site. I'll do it during the half. As it is 5 minutes of stoppage time that we got added on for this first half. That has been quite bonkers. Okay, I don't have to refresh it. It just updates on its own. And that is way off towards the left. Since he's sitting into the center pitch. That was some free fall action involving players from both sides. Oh, they've been attacking. Vancouver's been attacking. And they're looking to get their third goal before the half. And they're going to call that. The flag's going up. That ball went out, but since he's going to get a free kick out of it. It certainly has been a first half. But the first half at that. And It's still it's Cincy attacking right now. Turnover, and that's gonna be a free kick for Vancouver. I'm definitely gonna need to get myself a glass of water. Not sure how much of this action I can really take after that first half. And I didn't even do the NFC South football thing to strain it this time. Well, I say strain but do it myself. Vancouver keeping the ball in, looking to score or looking for an opportunity. Back to midfield. Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, this has been quite the first half, and I can only imagine how this second half would go if it just goes back to your typical boring narratives or what. But well, that ball went into the stands. I'm just waiting for some doinks to happen now. Incoming corner. Wait to make sure everybody's lined up apparently. And nope. That's just gonna go all the way towards the opposite side. Uh, and I think that's gonna be yeah, that's gonna be where they call halftime. I think. Yeah, that's halftime. Whoa, that was an entertaining first half of play. Now I need to now I need to get some water or so I can let my voice heal up a little bit. And we'll be back for the second half. Okay, I got a couple glasses of water to help a little bit. I mean, blame the refs all you want, but you gotta remember, it's been a month and a half since everybody last played. So it's not like everybody was here or expecting outright domination. Besides, there's probably a couple players that are still working on getting readjusted back. So that's some. So so for all I know, for some of the players, that first half may have been their chance to get the get the kinks from the breakout their system, so that they can start playing proper. Doesn't excuse some of the reffing that's occurred, mainly that second yellow on on that Vancouver player. But at the same time, um, it some of that feeds into the some of it actually feeds into the little thing I've been talking about throughout the first half about the Pittsburgh Steelers. If there was ever a time to designate somebody the Pittsburgh Steelers of the MLS, this is the time. Yeah, they're just going through their halftime report stuff. I'm trying to reserve my voice for a little bit, just so I can get through the second half. Probably gonna require a lot of attention from me. Oh, I just got notified of a potential red card against Atlanta. Oh boy. I think they're about to start back up for the second half. Yeah, we got 3 players on thin ice going into the second half. After review, it's yellow. Huh. And there was also a Charlotte goal. Yeah, they're here's second halftime. Ball and play, everybody! Hooray! So, well, obviously Vancouver needs to do something about the scoring in offensively by making sure they're able to outscore Cincy, and defensively to making sure or Cincy doesn't score or pass. But yeah, a little bit of a recap for that first half. It was drunk. That's literally my recap. It was drunk. Other games have started as well. And we had collisions where a player from both sides either down and looks like that may have been from okay. That explains it. So that's gonna be what draws a yellow for Matt Miazga. That's another Cincy player on thin ice. So I guess this first half once to pick up from the action of yellows to kick off this second half. We'll see if any more craziness occurs. It that Yeah, this is now more of the boring stuff I was expecting. But I'm still keeping track. Appar- Apparently there was a third yellow. So black. So there was a third yellow handed to a Vancouver player. That I wasn't aware of. Did, did the ref decide to hand a phantom yellow? Or that was that's interesting. Yeah, now we're back to the more slowish action stuff. Sorry if I'm not talking much. We're back to the standard stuff that tends to occur in soccer. That was a miss wide. Well, we got ourselves our fourth goal for Cincy. Well, you had 8 grand. Oh, whoa. Oh, jeez. Well, let me count this first. Or that, and that's Pavel Bucha who scores it. All right, now let me get back to this. You had 8 grand on Vancouver winning? Holy crap. Jeez. Uh, you have won 8K, but that's still a lot of money on. That's still a lot of money on the line. Like, I was struggling. It's like it's hard for me to imagine in what was the minimum. Well, before I can say that, Ryan Gold gets in and to actually make it within one. Immediate response from Vancouver as Ryan Gold is scoring another goal. It's back within one. Hold on to your butts, everybody. We might be on pace to break Cincy, New York City for most goals scored in a game covered on this channel of this season. And that's a yellow to Andre Cubas. Man, things just continue to be drunk. By the way, do you still lose as if it ends in a draw? Because that can still happen. So Badwall's coming off for Nagando, and Gald, his is coming off for Djodovic. And here comes the first ones for. We got 3 for Cincy. Echenique is coming off for Ramirez. Robinson's coming off for Smith. And Baboma Dem is coming off for Barlow. It's more likely Mboma. You know, like Mbappe. The amazing digital circus. Oh, oh my god. Oh, man, some of the Discord stuff is just crazy. Oh man. Some of the shenanigans that goes on Discord. Some of the shenanigans that go on Discord can be so funny sometimes. But what's not funny, I think there was a player down. So I probably need to check to make sure see if it's one that warrants a medical sub. Keep an eye. It can be hard to tell. The amazing digital circuit. So that's what it was. Alright. So looks like everything might be good. It's for Cincy. So looks like things are all good now. If if Montreal loses to Nashville, you should be able to win it and your money back. Why does it sound like I'm starting to? Why does it sound like we're starting to get into infomercial territory? You know what I mean? Like something sounds very infomercial about that. Looks like, but wait, there's more. If you call right now, you can get Montreal losing to Nashville for free with money back guaranteed. Hmm. Yeah, that looks like the player was fine. But yeah, if you're curious about Nashville and Montreal, it's currently a deadlock right now. Now that's 0-0. Also, since I'm wearing Charlotte shirt, I should mention Charlotte's winning 2-0 over Atlanta. Good old fashioned NFC South. But yeah, things have died down a good bit here as far as action goes. Home field advantage can be quite something at times. That's what I've come to notice. But you can definitely tell there's Sensei on the move again. Quick reaction in front of Kalka to prevent that one from being given the chance. Remember, we've never had anybody. No, most remember. But yeah, the action definitely slowed down a little bit. Yeah, it's just you know. Well, there is another yellow. This one's on Brian White. I want to see replay. That's where the yellow is from. I didn't see any falling involved. Maybe they thought it was dangerous enough to warrant the card. Um, I'm questioning that a little bit. I would need a closer up view of it. Yeah, it's been hard to. uh, Yeah, nobody's really scored much, like at all. Yeah, I'm trying to keep track. We're nobody seems to want to score anymore. It seems we've gone on quite a while without any more scoring, and Vancouver still needs one more to score a draw. And here comes substitutions. Vancouver's is going to go ahead and use their last two. Ocampo is off for Valasinovic, and Kubas is off for Enyomi. Oh, that one almost went in for Cincy, but they ain't gonna get through. I don't think there was any sort of goal stuff involved, but the flag was raised. It was Brian Wyatt's called off sides, so no goal there. Well, it didn't even get a chance to cross the net anyway. It was knocked away. That man, oh, it's greatly shifted in Cincy's favor. Yikes! Didn't think that would happen. So here comes substitutions for Cincy. They're using their latitude now as well. Nobody has substitutions left at this point. Dinky's coming off for Jabari, and Giddy's coming off for Hadebe. And, okay. Got some discussions going on. I guess ref one. I forget if that ref, what kinds of stuff ref can do sometimes. But we are about to go into stoppage time. If there is any. It's 7 minutes of stoppage time. 7 minutes of this game left. But yeah, if Vancouver wants a chance to not suffer loss number 3, they need to force, they need to score here and force a draw. Oh, oh, you have the opposite. Oh, oh man, we got two. Man, we got ourselves a betting war here. We got a betting war here going on. We got one that need got quite the betting war, ain't it? Oh man, that I swear you can't make some of this stuff up. There's just some things you can't make up. Almost in. Wow. Man, there have been so many chances. That was right off the corner. That almost went in, but it stopped. It's Vancouver can't catch a break. Just been crazy. But yeah, time's running out for Vancouver to at least force a draw. And there's a player for Cincy down. Training staff has to come out. I believe he has to sit out for a minute before he can go back in. Since he's fine, seems like. Trying to keep track for when the game ends. It doesn't look like Vancouver is going to be able to do anything. Would you call it an upset? No, not really. If you're people, because this is basically something you would expect from a Steelers game. And Vancouver is trying to get one last push in. They're not going to be able to do it. They're not going to have the time. Let's get the way, and they might do it. Yeah, that's it. That's the fun. That's it. Cincinnati takes this one and gets their sixth win of the season. And there goes the $8,000 that could have been won. So, so you better hope Nashville scores and Montreal doesn't. Apparently, Jan Too Fat is the one who wins that betting war. They even how I still can't get over it that that was an actual thing that happened. But that's enough from me. I'd like to thank you all so much for tuning into this drunken first half filled game. Whatever comes of this. And thank you all so much for tuning in. There's gonna be more coming soon. And until next time, travel safely. Good night, everyone.